Today we'll be looking at the defender tier list, and I'm sure you guys have been waiting for a while, but I've been a little busy with school since it started up again, but I have a little bit of free time, so I'm definitely going to try getting it out. And I'm really excited for the defender one since they are my favorite role to play in OPBR. But yeah, let's get into the video because I definitely think this is about to be a long one. Alright, at the number 10 spot we've got New World Kid, who's definitely a really good attacker slash defender, and I do think he gets a little too much hate in the community as a unit, but I think he's pretty decent. His skill 1 is like a double hit attack, so the first hit is a close range attack right here. Second part of the skill, he like launches his hand, and it has like probably the highest range in the whole game. But yeah, it does knockback and it doesn't do too much damage, so I would definitely try to just fight people close up and then hit that skill 1, and if you could get the close range part in, that's really nice, and maybe even hit the second part if they have nullify stagger or whatever. Skill 2 is a charge attack that does a lot of damage if you get the full charge in, so it does 633 attack with the full attack, and that it does take a bit to charge, but it pulls them in, and if the enemy doesn't perfect dodge the attack in the first thing, then it's guaranteed to do a lot of damage, and also does a knockback effect, so it's really nice. He is more of an attacker type defender, and his first 3 traits kind of prove that. And using skill 2 boosts def by 30%, which is nice just in case someone does perfect dodge you and then tries to just mess you up with their skills or whatever. When your team has more treasure secured, increase damage dealt by another 20%. So he is definitely more of an attacker type defender, which is also why he's at the bottom of the list. Alright, at the number 9 spot we've got Nightmare Luffy, and I bet some of you guys are pretty surprised that he's still like viable in season 39 now. His skill 2 is great, as it's a bit hard to predict if you don't see it coming. The attack isn't too high, but it's increased damage when HP is decreased, so that along with the 20-second cooldown makes it a really good skill in my opinion. Skill 1 is a mid-range charge attack, and as you can see it has really high attack, and it's like a bit awkward to pull off because like the positioning, but it does so much damage if you land it. He has the usual Luffy traits, Nullify Shock and Entrance. When an ally is KO'd, you will boost def by 20% and attack by 30%, which is really nice. When your strength is more than 70%, increase treasure gauge recovery amount. So that's really nice just to play your defender role, and you can charge up the treasures faster and also get into the action faster since that's what everyone wants to do. But yeah, that's Luffy for number 9. At the number 8 spot we've got Kuma, and the rest of these defenders are honestly so good. Even the ones before this are really good, but it's sad that I have to make a list out of it because honestly I would love to put everyone just at the top spot. His skill 1 is a great skill. It does a weird knockback, especially if you have nullify stagger or nullify down, then you will get like sent back so far, it's kind of crazy. And also I forgot to mention, it does have this weird thing where it's able to go through like any walls. So in Drum Island it could go from B to D, just like straight through the thing. In the Land of Wano it could go through the walls, and yeah, basically any wall you could think of. Skill 2, Ursa Shock, is a crazy skill look wise and attack wise. So both of his skills do knockback effect, and it does high damage also with ignore def, so it's like such a nice skill. Kuma has a lot of nice traits in my opinion. So increase knockback distance by 100%. When you knock back an enemy, recover HP by 10%. So both of his skills do knockback, so you're going to be recovering that HP like crazy. And also if you pair that with the Kuma medal, you'll get an additional 5%, I believe. But yeah, when in the area around your captured treasure, reduce damage received by 30% and 20% from runners. Increase damage dealt by 20% and increase damage dealt to runners by 20%. You definitely want to be fighting in his treasure because you'll be tanking everything, especially from runners, and also be doing hella damage. So yeah, definitely is a really solid defender, and honestly I wish I could put him higher, but the rest of the defenders are even crazier. So yeah. So at the number 7 spot, we've got Fujitora, aka Isho-san. He's really a solid unit in OPBR, but I also really like him in the show, which is why I'm pretty sad that I don't even have a single copy. So his skill 1 is really nice as it knocks back the opponent and also hits them with this weird down effect that keeps them down for like an extra few seconds. So skill 2 ignores death and has really high damage, and also reduces the attack by 10% for the enemy, which is really nice. There's a lot of little tricks that you could use for him and just drop the meteor from like lower levels. For example, in Drum Island, you could do it from his spawn flag, like just on like top level, and it'll just drop on them without them knowing. Also, Baratai, it works because if you do it from the lower level or even the higher level, it'll hit people on the lower level. So yeah, it's really a great skill, but the only problem I do have with the skills are they're kind of pretty easy to predict. The second one's easy to predict, but it's still like hard to dodge, I guess. When attacking character type, the 7 warlords of the sea increase damage by 5%. So it's really a weird trait, but if you watch the anime or read the manga, you definitely understand why. When you down an enemy, I believe it reduces their speed by 10%, and that will also stack with this, I'm pretty sure. So it'll reduce their speed for a total of 20% if you hit them with skill 1. Knock back an enemy, boost attack by 30%, so that goes with your skill 1. And when your strength is more than 70%, reduce damage received by 50%. So definitely really solid traits. At the number 6 spot, we've got Sengoku, and honestly I slept on this unit for so long because I guess I just didn't really like him as a character too much, so I didn't play him. But once I did like max him out and got his max boost in and stuff, he was actually a really solid unit to play with, and I definitely like his skills a lot, especially the skill 2. Basically just fires like cannonballs all around him in like a triangle pattern. Also, the best part about the skill has to do with one of the traits that come in, which is using skill 2, it creates a trait area for 10 seconds, and in that trait area you or your ally will recover HP by 20% and it will boost death by 20%. That is literally one of the best things you could have for a defender, because you'll be recovering HP all the time, and boosting the death will make him extra nice as well. His skill 1, also a really nice skill. It's a bit hard to get off, but you do learn the ways, like how and when to use it. So when you are downed, inflict self with Nullify Stagger, and that is the best time to use skill 1 in my opinion if the opponent doesn't know about like Sengoku. And at the end it ignores death and also does a knockback effect. When your allies are near the treasure area where you are, boost skill 2 cooldown by 50%. Really nice. After receiving damage from an enemy, which is less than 20% of your max HP, reduces damage received by 40%. So that is Sengoku for the number 6 spot. At the number 5 spot, we've got my boy Enel, and as you can see, I've got him to level 95, which is mad dope. I really think he's a solid defender, and also a pretty decent attacker as well, because his skill 1 is really hard to predict as it's so fast in activation time. Skill 2 is also really nice as it gives you a nice little trait area, and you want to make sure you do get the full skill in before someone comes in and interrupts you, because if they do interrupt you, you will get the skill in and do the damage, but it won't actually put the trait area in, which is probably the best part about the skill. When you are in the trait area, reduce damage received by 40% and change knockdown to a down effect. So it's really nice in clutching up basically every game where, like, say you're the last one alive and everyone's trying to use their knockback abilities to get you off the flag, but it'll just not work since you have this trait. When attacked by an enemy, 3% chance to inflict shock, and when attacking an enemy, 5% chance to inflict shocks. When attacking an enemy inflicted with shock, increased damage dealt by 20%. So that's why I say get skill 1 in, because first it'll reduce their death by 10% and also boost your damage output by 20%. When enemies are inflicted with shock, reduce the cooldown time of skill 2 by 10% and boost attack by 30%. So again, another 30% increase for your attack. So always be if the enemy is shocked, just go all in and get your skills in if you do have them ready. At the number 4 spot, we've got the new Katakuri, whose bounty festival is still currently going on. And if you guys like have the gems to pull, I would definitely pull for this dude because he's such a good defender for sure. Skill 1 does knockback effect first of all, and it reduces their speed by 10% for 20 seconds, but it has really high damage, 759 attack, and it's like a little rolly thingy where he rolls up to you and just obliterates you. But yeah, 34-second cooldown is really nice, and I think it's a decent skill. I wouldn't do it when you're close to them, and I would kind of do it far away, just roll in and then make sure you get that like final hit in. So skill 2 is his best skill that makes him like one of the top tier units in the game. The knockback effect on this skill is actually like bugged. They definitely got to fix that, but besides that, the cooldown is 20 seconds and it does stun every time you hit him. It's a really nice skill, and the best part about the skill has to do with the trait. When critical occurs, recover HP by 5%. 10 times you will crit and recover HP by 5%, so that's 50% HP recovery. Another trait that I really like for him, when attacked by an enemy, 100% chance to reduce the cooldown time of dodge by 50%. You'll have basically infinite dodge every time you're getting hit. So he's really a good defender because of that, in my opinion, because he'll just survive for so long and then eventually get his skill 2 and get the heals back. So yeah, it's crazy. So when your strength is less than 50%, 10% chance to dodge without taking damage, which is like the Snake Man Ultra Instinct thing. Your strength is more than 50%, reduce damage received by 30%. So he's got a lot of damage reduction traits. He's got a crazy heal. He's definitely worthy of the spot. And yeah. Alright guys, so now we are in the top 3. And we've got Magellan at the 3rd spot. Honestly, he deserves number 1, but that's in my eyes, I guess. Magellan is one of the best defenders, one of the best units in the game. His skill 1 is literally just filthy. It'll do 2.5% every second if you get hit with the venom, and that is for 10 seconds. That literally resets every time you get hit with the venom, so it literally just drains your energy or your HP like crazy. The first hit of the Venom Demon does the most damage, so it does 615, and it does do knockback as well. The range with the first hit is like so big, that's why a lot of people like don't see it coming. They'll like, oh, I'm far away, and they don't even dodge or anything, but then it just smacks you out of nowhere and you get sent flying. The Venom Demon actually lasts for 15 seconds. Skill 2, really nice skill as well. because the poison after the ball like explodes or whatever lasts for a few seconds. The poison damage 1.15% for every second. Attack is reduced for 20 seconds, and the poison also lasts for around 20 seconds, and the cooldown is 20 seconds, so they'll literally always be poisoned. And his traits are nice as well. When attacked by an enemy, 5% chance to inflict poison. Attacking an enemy, 5% chance to inflict poison. Using skill 1, reduce speed by 50%, which is probably like the only negative about him, but I really don't think it doesn't affect it that much. If you do care about that, you could double tap the normal attacks to move faster. That's like a nice little tip. When attacked by an enemy, 100% chance to reduce the cooldown time of skill 1 by 5%. So this is probably one of his best traits, because you could run that with the Kaido medal and it'll do an additional 2%. So in total you'll get 7% skill 1 cooldown reduction time every time you get hit. You can't get one-shotted, which is really nice. And also when your strength is more than 50%, reduce damage received by 30%. So he's literally one of the tankiest units in the game, and I'm sure by now he's gotten the respect he deserves, because in the beginning he was highly slept on in my opinion, but he's a monster. He's probably one of the best units in the game tanking wise. And yeah, alright, at the second spot we've got a Rouge, who's proven himself to be a top tier defender for sure. Skill 1 is a counter, and a counter on a defender is just disgusting. 730 attack, and it does even higher damage if his HP is lower. And not only that, it'll do a knockback effect and recover HP by 240, but that's if the counter succeeds. And if the counter fails, they still can't hit you, because he does a little area attack and also recover HP by 116, which is really nice. So unlike the Shanks counter, you don't need the counter to actually hit to recover the HP. Skill 2 is a weird little charge attack where he comes in and hits you with his big, I don't even know what you call that, pillar. And yeah, it also does knockback and 739 attack. So both of his skills do really high attack. When his strength is less than 50%, increase damage dealt by 20% and reduce damage received by 20%. When attacked by an enemy, 100% chance to reduce the cooldown time of skill 1 by 5%. So the same thing with Magellan. And if you can run the Kaido medal set and even his medal, the Rouge medal, it'll give you an additional 4% in total, so that'll be 9% skill 1 cooldown time, which is absolutely disgusting, because his skill 1 is actually his like better skill in my opinion. He's really a high attacking unit for sure, but this trait right here makes him one of the tankiest units as well. So when attacked by an enemy, 100% chance to increase def by 5%, and that stacks up to 50%. So it's actually so filthy, and if you run max def on him, you'll just literally be unkillable once he's reached that 50% state. And when your strength is more than 50%, you can't get one-shotted. So I really think he's a great defender, and I would like to put Magellan higher, but this counter right here just makes him like one of the ultimate units. The counter along with that defense stacking trait. Alright guys, so we're finally at the number 1 spot, and yup, maybe you guys thought I wasn't gonna put him here or something, but he's literally the number 1 unit in Bounty Rush. Does extra damage to power users by 200%, sorry. It'll do a dark effect, which just makes it so you can't even dodge. So even if you do have like nullify stagger or whatever, you won't be able to dodge out. if you get hit with it. Speed is reduced by 30%, and the attack is 308 with 27-second cooldown. Skill 2, Black Hole, has like a bigger range than a whole treasure area, and it'll suck you in and just completely destroy you. Again, it does the dark effect, so you can't dodge out. It'll do 602 attack, and that's like when he does the little second part. But the first part will do 52 times 5, so whatever that number is. And yeah, it does knockback, and he becomes invincible, and just like literally just disgusting. Both of his skills, disgusting. And of course, he's an EX unit, so he'll give you a crazy HP recovery with team boost. When attacking power users, increase damage dealt by 10%, recover 15% HP one time. So he's got 2 lives, just like Kaido and Ivankov. When attacked by an enemy, 100% chance to reduce the cooldown time of skill 2 by 5%. So basically like Magellan and Urug's trait, but instead of skill 1, it's for skill 2, which is probably the better skill out of the two. But I'm not saying that this skill is not bad. Like, this skill is insane as well. After KOing an enemy, recover HP by 15%. So yeah, he's got a lot of HP recovery. He's got mad damage output, a lot of damage reduction, and he's just like one of the craziest units. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's Blackbeard. But yeah, I'm sure everyone knows how OP he is, and he definitely deserves the number 1 spot. You could say he fell off or whatever, easy to predict, but I tried him out recently and got 10k score. So yeah, he definitely did not fall off, and he still holds the top spot for defenders and also just characters. That is the defender tier list, and please do subscribe if you liked it, like the video. And just because I'm done with the tier list doesn't mean I don't have other great content. So you guys best be watching my other content, because I don't know, it's fire. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.